Nobody believed in him, not his teachers, not his friends, not even his own father. And after hearing "you're not good enough" for years, he started believing it too, until one night changed everything. Because sometimes the most dangerous person in the room is the one who has nothing left to lose. His name was Arav, 19 years old, skinny, quiet, invisible, the type of guy people talked over, the type of guy nobody noticed unless they needed something. Every morning looked the same. Wake up, scroll mindlessly, go to college, fake laugh at jokes, come home exhausted for absolutely no reason. He wasn't lazy. That's the scary part. He wanted to change. He just didn't know how anymore. Because after enough failures, your brain starts building a prison you can't even see. And Arav had been failing for years. Failed exams, failed friendships, failed dreams. Every time he tried becoming better, life slapped him back down harder. So eventually, he stopped trying. And that's where most people die. Not physically, mentally. Their ambition dies, their fire dies, their belief dies, and after that, they just exist. One afternoon, Arav sat in the back of his classroom while everyone around him talked about their futures, startups, careers, money, success. One guy laughed and said, "Bro, in 5 years we're all gonna be rich." Everyone laughed confidently, except Arav, because deep down, he couldn't even imagine a future for himself. That terrified him. You know what's worse than pain? Not knowing if your life will ever become anything. That night he stared at the ceiling for hours. His room was dark except for the blue light from his phone. 2:17 a.m., then 3:41 a.m., then 4:08 a.m. His brain wouldn't stop. Regret after regret replayed in his head like torture. You wasted your teenage years. You're weak. Everyone is ahead of you. You'll never become anything. And the worst part? The voice sounded like him. 3 weeks later, Arav overheard something that shattered him completely. His father was talking to a relative on the phone, and he said, "I don't think Arav is capable of doing anything big in life." Silence. Arav froze outside the door. His chest tightened. Because strangers doubting you hurts, but hearing your own father give up on you? That changes something inside a person. That night he walked through empty streets alone. Cold wind, headphones on, no destination. And for the first time in his life, he got angry. Not emotional, not sad. Angry. At himself. At his weakness. At the years he wasted waiting for motivation to magically appear. Because deep down he realized something terrifying. Nobody was coming to save him. Not friends, not family, not motivation videos, not luck. If he stayed weak, life would crush him forever. And right there, under a flickering streetlight at nearly midnight, Arav made a decision. He would disappear for 1 year, not literally, socially, mentally, emotionally. He would sacrifice comfort to build someone new. The next morning looked different, not dramatic, no movie music, no instant success. Just one small decision. He woke up early. That's it. But discipline is built in tiny moments nobody claps for. Day after day, he started changing. He deleted social media, started working out, read books, learned skills online, stopped chasing validation. At first it felt pointless. Nobody noticed, nobody cared. And that's the phase where most people quit, because improvement is invisible before it becomes obvious. Weeks passed, then months. Slowly. His mind became sharper, his body stronger, his confidence quieter. Not loud confidence. Real confidence. The dangerous kind. The kind built through suffering. But self-improvement has a dark side nobody talks about. Loneliness. Because when you start changing, you realize how many conversations were meaningless. How many people only liked the weaker version of you. Friends stopped calling. People mocked his routines. One guy laughed and said, "Bro thinks he's gonna become a millionaire now." Arav just smiled, because he understood something powerful. When people laugh at your ambition, it usually means they abandon their own. And every night while the world slept, he kept building, silently. That's how real transformation happens, not publicly, in silence. One evening during a brutal workout, Arav collapsed onto the gym floor exhausted, sweat everywhere, muscles shaking, heart pounding. And suddenly he realized something. Pain wasn't his enemy anymore. Comfort was. Comfort had stolen years from him. Comfort kept him scrolling instead of building. Comfort kept him weak. Comfort convinced him that someday existed, but someday is dangerous, because someday turns into years, and years turn into regret. That realization changed everything. From that moment forward, he stopped asking, "How do I feel?" and started asking, "What needs to be done?" That single mindset shift made him unstoppable. After 11 months, people barely recognized him, not because of muscles, because of energy, presence, focus. He spoke differently, walked differently, thought differently. The invisible boy became impossible to ignore, and suddenly, the same people who doubted him started watching quietly. Funny how that works. Nobody believes in you during the construction phase. They only admire the finished building. One day his father walked into his room and noticed him working late on his laptop. He looked at Arav for a long moment and quietly said, "I'm proud of you." 4 words. That's all. But Arav remembered the pain that created those words, the sleepless nights, the discipline, the loneliness. People see success. They rarely see the war behind it. A year earlier, Arav wanted motivation. Now he understood motivation is unreliable. Discipline is what changes lives. Feelings come and go. Energy comes and goes. But standards? Standards define your future. And the moment you stop negotiating with weakness, your life changes forever. Because confidence isn't born from affirmations, it's built from proof. Proof that you can suffer without quitting. Proof that you can stay focused while others get distracted. Proof that you can keep going even when nobody believes in you. That's real power. Years later, people would ask Arav, "What changed your life?" And he always gave the same answer. "Nobody came to save me." Because that realization either destroys a person or creates one. And maybe right now, you're waiting too. Waiting for motivation, waiting for confidence, waiting for the perfect moment. But the truth is, your future is being built by what you do today. Not tomorrow, not next year. Today. So maybe this is your sign. Lock in. Disappear for a while. Build yourself in silence. And let the results make the noise.